Hi, and welcome to the Retirement Concepts podcast where we discuss both lifestyle and financial issues in retirement to help you understand them.
Welcome once again to another episode of the Little Book of Retirement Concepts. Now today, I wanted to be a little bit different. I want to talk to Lionel about the experience that his clients have had when it comes to preparing for retirement. So Lionel, I've been where you are, but people watching haven't. So why don't you tell people what's like and what you've found?
Well, the client experience. So everyone has a different client experience with what they're doing. Everyone has a really different lifestyle in their own rights. So, but for us on the financial side, with the financial planning side of it, we really try and give everyone a similar experience. And the big pieces for the financial planning pieces is you're really getting to understand you and what you're doing and where you want to go. And the biggest part at the start I find with most people these days is that when we're talking about your finances, most people they really put it into the too hard basket, Pete, and they stick their head in the sand and they don't really want to look into it or actually really uncover what's going on there. But realistically, it's a really key component for your overall success in your future. So on the financial side, it's a daunting place to talk about. We're actually talking about your money and about what you own and about how much money you're making. And then actually we talk about how much money you're actually spending, which is a big thing. So our client experience that we have with our clients is we embrace a little bit of technology at the start of the whole process. And why we do that is because it puts everything into one spot on your phone or on your computer. Embracing technology, we're using an app, a financial app, to download your total financial position in one spot. So you technically set up an app on your phone and then you go through a question set on your phone. And the question set really tells us who you are, what your relationship status is, where who your dependents are, which is really key, really important. Talks about your income, how much money you're earning as an income, what your expenses are, and actually can help you list all the expenses for you in the app. And you can go through and list them yourself as well. It asks you questions about the assets that you own. So the assets that you own, whether it be personally or jointly in a relationship, whether you're owning assets in a company or a trust and all that sort of the like. And the important piece for that is actually we need to get a clear financial position on where your current starting point is now, because that's going to really tells us where we can actually go with your overall wealth journey. We talk about the liabilities, so the debts that you own at the moment, where they are, how much they're worth, what are your current repayments, and what are the interest rates, and we talk about a lot of your superannuation. So superannuation is a big key component to your overall retirement planning requirements and needs. So superannuation acts as a massive benefit of tax pooled funds, really, because in retirement, if you're drawing an income from your super account in pension phase, there's the tax benefit. So you pay 0% tax on the income and the capital gains tax. So there's no other structure in the financial world that gives you those benefits. So we want to make sure we're harnessing those benefits for your own benefit. All right. And then we talk about your insurance situation, insurance cover, which is your personal insurance. So life, your TPD, your income protection, and your trauma insurance cover. So that's pretty much the starting point, Pete, that we talk about. And it's probably been a while since you went through that process, I'd imagine. But that's our process at the start. So at the start, it's a data capture of your information in one spot. Now, once we've captured all the data on this app, then it allows us to catch up and have we call it our first meeting. Our first meeting is us either sitting down face to face, which is usually my preference because I'd prefer to sit down and make a good relationship with my clients going forward, so they can sit down and eyeball me and shake my hand and say, and really get to know me, and I'm actually getting to know them as well. Because frankly, in the advice world, it's a two-way conversation and a two-way relationship, and it takes two to tango pretty much. So, but at the same time, I want to be working with people that I want to be working with as well. If the relationship doesn't really gel and we don't see eye to eye, then maybe we're not the best fit for each other. So, that's the piece in the relationship there. So, but in our first meeting, it's really uncovering me identifying areas to help make your life a little bit easier by taking away the worries that you have about your super or your cash flow or your investments. And your worries in those areas is you actually making decisions, because you're not most of the time educated in that area, or you don't have a great understanding of it. My job as an advisor is first to become an educator first, which is educating you on all of your personal finances, and then actually giving you some options and saying, these are the options available to you to go and help you make a good decision. So I'm actually displaying what you currently have and what are the options available for you to go and make a good decision for yourself now and also into the future. And obviously at the same time, me as a professional that does this day in, day out, I'm actually going to go and help you make and help you guide you along those decisions. I'm not actually going to go and force you and say, you have to do this and you have to take out this financial product. I'm going to say, this is where you're currently sitting at the moment. If we look at this option here, you're going to be in a better position because you're going to either save money in fees, the returns are going to be better, or the overall benefits for you are actually going to be better long term. So that's the whole point of financial advice, is to give you guidance and advice to put you from point A to point B and making your life better and giving you a better financial outcome for your overall long-term future. So that's the first meeting process. And we uncover in that process as well, understanding your actual goals of where you want to be. Where do you envision yourself going to in a certain period of time, whether it's a short period of time or a long period of time. And if you're not understanding what those goals are looking for yourself, well, then we can actually uncover them for you. Talk about the most important things in your life. What is important to you and to your family? Or when do you want to pay down a certain level of debt? And talking about all those conversations is really important for us to really understand what's really important to you. Are you willing to sacrifice some money at the moment, or are you willing to actually make some changes to your overall financial position to put you from point A to point B? Because if you go along with just the status quo of just kicking the can down the road and not really doing anything, there's a massive opportunity cost that you can actually cost yourself by not doing something. So if you're not doing anything, there's a massive opportunity cost that you're still doing the same thing. You may be paying a lot of money in fees and the returns are pretty average, and you're not putting money into the right area. And if you're actually making a plan and putting those motions in place and the plan in place, then you saving money in fees and saving money in insurance premiums and and making sure you're invested into the right growth level of funds, you could be from here to like here. You could be saving yourself technically sometimes hundreds and thousands of dollars in fees and actually value and growth in your wealth. So that's what we talk about a lot of the time as an opportunity cost. If you do nothing compared to doing something and getting the plan organized and set right for yourself for the future. So a lot of information gets covered in that. And what we do as financial planners is we create this thing called a statement of advice, which is a legal binding document. It's usually a big fat document that I tell people, if you want to sit it next to your bedside at night time,
Go to sleep.
read it for a little bit. It's actually going to put you to sleep at night time. But the statement of advice is a long long-winded document of all the information that we've captured about your first initial meeting, about your financial situation, and also what the advice is throughout the course of the whole document. Where you started, where we're giving you advice on which product, what we're doing with your wealth, pretty much your money, and then the factors that sit behind it, how much it costs to do it, the comparisons for the fees, the comparisons for the investment asset allocation, and also what it costs you actually to get the advice document completed, which is the financial planning fees. And we put this all into this document to pretty much outline what we're actually doing for you. And then we're going to go through the process that if you're happy with that, and that we actually go through and implement the whole process for you as well. We set up the relevant applications for the funds. We tell you where to put money. We move the money around. And as we're doing all this process, we're updating you along the way to keeping you in check and informed to let you know what the part of the process is, which I find critically important these days to know that everyone's on the same page, that we're all going in the right direction. Everyone knows what's happening in our plan. Then once that's all completed and it's been implemented and the plan's been set up, then we set up our ongoing review program, which is at what points in time over the next 12 months do we plan on actually catching up together and having a review of the overall plan that we've just set out. We do that once or twice a year, and we actually do that once or twice a year, and that means we're restarting the whole process again about capturing the data of what's happened in the last 12 months, what needs to change. And now throughout the course of that whole process, throughout the course of the whole year, really, our communication channels are always open for phone calls or emails. Now, one of the big differences that we try and point out to most people these days that aren't engaged into an advice relationship is if you're using a current industry super fund, 10 times out of 10 times when you call the industry super fund to ask them for information or advice about what you should be doing or who you should be speaking or when you should be putting money into super, you're going to get 10 different consultants every single time. Now, you may build a relationship with one person over that time, but the difference is when you're using a financial planner on a one-on-one basis together, you're actually calling me every time or my team every time, and we're actually dealing with all of your issues that you may be having at any one time. So that's probably one of the biggest point of differences compared to using an industry super fund compared to using a independent or a retail or a financial planner that's licensed through a licensee. So that's a bit of a long-winded process on the financial planning side. But unfortunately with the regulators at the moment, that's just what the regulators require us to do. There's a lot of red tape in our industry. We've got to do a lot of compliance. After every meeting, we write notes like a doctor would, writing down notes about the conversation and what we're doing. And then record keeping as well, keeping all the records in check, making sure we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's and all the different compliance processes. So that's why as like lawyers and accountants, we're charging fees for the service that we're providing because it's not a simple process to say go from point A to point B. We've got to capture everything, record everything, document it all, process all the documents, and everything that we do from a financial planning perspective needs to be signed off by our clients as well. So that's why people are paying fees to actually get all this work done because it takes a hell of a lot of time, not just from me, but also my team. I've got a team of staff that help me out that go through this whole process together with clients, and that's happening on a daily basis. So hopefully that helps people understand the financial planning process about going through the client experience. Now, from a technical standpoint, we use an app for our clients. The app has all of your personal wealth listed in it, all of the assets, all the liabilities, and all the information around your super accounts, your investment accounts, your pension accounts is all listed in the one spot. Now, what happens is the app itself data feeds all the information into the app on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So you know exactly your net worth position at any one time. If you picked up your app, you'd see the live account balances from 2 days ago. Now that gives you a bit of a holistic picture of what's going on. At the same time, the app allows us to store documents in the app as well. So we store all the compliance documents, your advice documents. You can actually upload documents as part of the whole process because we're capturing things like driver's license, super statements, insurance statements, and a range of different documents. And then once we've completed all those documents, you can actually electronically sign the documents with your app as well. And then everything's stored in the one spot. Another key component of the app is that we work with a number of professionals in our field. And those professionals usually range from, like, for example, an accountant. An accountant, we can organize inside the app. There's a room section where we can both have a conversation with the accountant and yourself inside the same area, have the same communication channel in the one area. That works typically well when we're obviously dealing with mortgage brokers as well, because the mortgage broker needs to do a fact finding of all your information in the one spot. So we're using technology as an advantage here to make your life a little bit simpler, a little bit quicker, and a little bit cleaner. And you don't have to carry around paperwork all the time. All the information's here in one spot on your phone, and we can make and transact on our relationships a lot quicker. So that just goes to show as well, Pete, that anyone all over Australia really are our clients. Doesn't matter where you are, what time frame it is. We can set you up with an app anywhere you are in Australia. And I have a number of clients in Queensland, Bourke, Bathurst, Melbourne, one in Broome, a couple in Darwin as well. So if you're out there and you're thinking about whether you can get financial advice and you're in a remote area of Australia, and as long as you've got internet, I would say you can definitely get advice. So make sure just to reach out to me if you'd like to get in contact with me. My email is lionel@purposeplanning.com.au. You can also jump onto my website and book a 15-minute phone call with me whenever you like, and that allows us to get to know each other and work out whether we can work together. But if you're thinking about retirement and you need a little bit more of a helping hand with understanding information about retirement, this book covers 52 different areas in your retirement. It doesn't cover everything, but it covers a lot of it. All right. It's a great starting point for you to help you understand the retirement concepts of both the lifestyle issues and the financial issues with me. It's a great starting point. So if you jump in, grab yourself a copy of the book. You can use it as a handbook and write down your own notes. Then if you need some help with me with the financial side of it, I'll be happy to help anyone that's in that pre-retirement phase of 50 to 65. So hopefully that helps you understand the client experience for a financial planner. A lot of it's red tape at the moment about making sure we're capturing everything, crossing our I's and dotting our T's, but it's a well-worth investment in your own personal journey when with your finances. And if you're not engaged with a financial planner, then I would suggest you do get engaged with someone, and I'd be happy to help out. So please reach out to me. Until next time, thanks for listening to our Retirement Concepts podcast. We'll be dropping episodes every fortnight so you can listen, learn, and understand all the different areas of retirement, both lifestyle and on the financial side. Bye for now.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Retirement Concepts podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to let people know by sharing the episode around, rating and reviewing the podcast on the platform you listen on. Also, if you need some guidance on preparing for retirement, please head over to our website, lbrc.au, to grab a copy of our little book of retirement concepts that brings you closer to having a fabulous retirement. Until then, we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.